Mass times velocity equals momentum. No, this video isn't a primer for a lesson in physics. It's a video about creative momentum and why momentum is important for artists. So how do we get our mass moving? Hi, Michael Worth here. Welcome back to the channel. Creative momentum is crucial for any artist who wants to create meaningful work. We often procrastinate. We find things that are just better to do, easier to do. I guess better is not the best word to use there, but we find things that we'd rather be doing instead of maintaining our momentum in the studio, right? The phrase, just get started, is easier said than done. And for many artists, getting started is the hardest part. It's when we stare at a blank canvas or perhaps toil over what we should paint next. Precious studio time is often lost. It's wasted on the lack of motivation. Not really because we're bored or we hate what we do. It's more that we stopped and we got to start again. Maybe you had to get your supplies out and all that kind of stuff, or maybe there's just too many distractions and you lost all motivation. It happens to me a lot. When we are making art and we actually get into that flow state and things really start to happen for us, you know, the whole world just kind of stops around us. We're not getting interrupted. We don't have a lot going on. We're able to actually work uninterrupted and completely in our zone. That's when things really start to happen. And you've probably noticed this, that you just keep working. You run past your scheduled times. You forget to eat, so to speak. That's where we want to be. And hopefully if you maintain your creative momentum and you maintain a schedule that allows you to do this, things will start to work like a flow state every time. As soon as you walk into your studio, you're ready to go. It takes less energy to keep working than it does to start. This is why a lot of artists work on several pieces at a time. It helps maintain creative momentum. Have you ever completed a painting without having another one ready to start? For me, this is probably the most unproductive studio time that I have. I mean, it's one of them things where I gotta have things going. This is why a lot of artists always have multiple projects going at once. When you finish one, you have another one in process. Having a comfortable place to work is pretty important. It can be a wonderful thing too. Don't get me wrong. This studio here is probably the best studio I've ever had. It's just a spare bedroom. I've worked at the dining room table. I've worked in the basement. I've worked countless places in the house. I've worked in the garage. I've worked in the attic. You know, having a nice place is a wonderful thing. The point in having a studio is to give us a place to leave our equipment out, leave everything set up, and maintain that momentum, right? If you have to pack your easel, pack your supplies, and pack everything up, put it in a closet, and then get it out every time you want to work, that really can become a problem. It becomes a speed bump, so to speak, in your process of making art. Your creative momentum can be slowed down and you're constantly having to restart every time. And restarting is the part that's so hard about maintaining momentum. The problem is when we use the studio purely as a hangout, a place to relax. Maybe there are too many distractions. The cell phone, a computer, iPad, TV, and anything else not contributing to actually making art can be a distraction. Not saying these things aren't useful, but when they get in the way and distract us from making art, the momentum is lost. I plan to talk about my schedule in a future video and how I keep it on a spreadsheet like that. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see a little bit better. But you know, I think having a routine and a schedule in your life as an artist is very important. It keeps you going. It keeps you kind of what you need to do. It doesn't have to be this detailed. It can be something as simple as I'm always in the studio from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or something like that. That way those are your days. That's when you're going to be there. That's when you don't want to be interrupted. Once everybody around you starts understanding these things, it'll be easier to maintain your momentum and not be interrupted. Some tips that can help you find momentum as an artist include, number 1, dedicate a place you can call your studio so you don't have to clean it and arrange it every time you make art. I know this is harder than it might sound, but trust me on this. If you can just leave the easel where it is, coming back to it's so much easier. Number 2, create a schedule for when you work and hold that time sacred. Focus. Just work on what your schedule says you're supposed to be doing and what you're supposed to be working on. Trust me, this helps tremendously. Number 3, don't leave the studio or your easel without knowing what you are doing the next time you engage in making art. Leave a note for yourself if you have to. Number 4, always be working on multiple projects at different stages of completion. This can help tremendously when you are coming off the high of completing a project and you can't seem to start another one. Be so relentless at creating momentum that it doesn't require you to start and stop every time you want to make art. Thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope it's something that gets you thinking about your own creative momentum, and I hope it helps. I really do. We'll see you in the next one.